Hey everyone, as a senior consultant, I see this all the time. Nonprofits doing absolutely incredible, life-changing work that, well, almost no one hears about. You know your programs have an impact, but does that impact have a voice? Today, we're going to build that voice. We're going to turn your amazing programs into powerful, unforgettable stories. So let's dive in. So here's the real challenge, right? You know your programs work, but how do you take that success and turn it into a story that actually moves people to do something? Look, facts and figures are important, for sure, but stories are what make people feel the impact of what you do. They're what inspire people to give, to volunteer, and to truly care. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with why stories are so critical in the first place. Then I'll walk you through a proven 5-act framework that you can start using immediately. We'll cover the secret sauce for making stories truly memorable, how to avoid some really common ethical mistakes, and finally, how to share your stories for the biggest impact. By the end, you'll have a clear path to becoming the master storyteller your organization needs. Okay, so first things first, why do stories matter more than just data? Well, think about it. A statistic like an 85% program completion rate, that's great, but it's also abstract. It's just a number. A story takes that number and gives it a human face, making it unforgettable and deeply motivating, whether you're talking to a major funder, your board, or your community. To make this all feel really concrete, we're going to follow one story from start to finish. The story of a woman named Maria. Her journey is going to be our case study today, and it'll help illustrate every concept we talk about, making this whole framework tangible and super easy to apply to your own work. All right, now for the core of what we're doing today. Great stories don't just happen by magic. They actually have a skeleton, a structure. And you know what the best part is? That structure is repeatable, and it's completely learnable. So let's get into it. And here it is, the 5 fundamental building blocks of a powerful story. The setting, the challenge, the intervention, the transformation, and finally, the implication. Just think of these as the chapters that guide your audience through a compelling journey. First up, Act 1, the setting. This is where you ground the story in a specific reality. Don't just say, we help adults. No, get specific. Maria is 34, and she lives in a neighborhood where 40% of adults lack basic literacy. See? That context immediately shows your audience why the challenge she's facing is so significant. Next is Act 2, the challenge. This is really the heart of the story. What is truly at stake here? For Maria, it wasn't just about a GED certificate. It was about the shame she felt, about feeling stuck, about missing out. Defining that emotional weight is what makes your audience lean in and truly care. Act 3 is where your organization steps onto the stage, the intervention. And here, specificity is everything. Don't just say, she joined our program. Show us how it worked. She met with a tutor one-on-one 3 times a week, using materials she chose. Those details build credibility and show the actual mechanics of how change happens. Now for the payoff, the transformation in Act 4. And this isn't just about the immediate outcome, like passing the test. The real power is in the ripple effect. Maria didn't just gain a skill. She became a leader, a tutor herself. That's the kind of lasting change you want to capture. And finally, Act 5, the implication. This is your so what moment. Why does Maria's one story matter to the entire world? Well, because it's proof of your larger impact. This is how you take one personal story and elevate it into a powerful statement about real systemic change. So we have our 5-act structure. Now let's talk about the secret ingredient, the fuel that makes this whole engine run, specificity. This is the technique that transforms a story from just generic marketing copy into something that feels authentic, real, and totally unforgettable. Just look at the difference here. We help people improve their lives is okay, but it's completely forgettable. But Maria couldn't read her kids' school notes. Wow, you can picture that instantly. 3 panic attacks a month. That defines a real struggle. These specific details are what make a story feel real and stick in your audience's mind long after they've heard it. Okay, a great story has to be built on a foundation of trust. Telling a story isn't just about being effective, it's about being ethical. This next section is all about how to navigate those common pitfalls that can undermine your credibility and, more importantly, disrespect the very people whose stories you're sharing. The first mistake, and it's a big one, is what we call savior language. Phrases like, we rescued Maria, make her sound passive and strip her of her own power. The better, more truthful way to frame it is that Maria is the hero of her own story. Your organization provided a tool, but she did the hard work. It's not just more respectful, it's way more believable. Second, let's try to avoid those really extreme before and after narratives. People are not broken or hopeless before they find your program. They are resourceful, resilient people facing barriers. Saying Maria felt blocked is so much more honest and less patronizing than saying she had, given up on life. Now, this one is so important. Don't frame a big systemic issue as if it's just an individual failing. When you acknowledge things like underfunded schools or long waitlists for services, you frame your work correctly, not as a simple fix for one person, but as a vital response to a complex system. And please, whatever you do, do not end the story at graduation. The most powerful part of the narrative is what happens next. Your program is the stepping stone, not the final destination. Showing that Maria became a tutor or got a better job, that shows the true long-term return on investment. Okay, so you've crafted this powerful, specific, ethical story. Now what? Well, you share it, but you don't share it the same way everywhere. This final section is all about being strategic, about tailoring your narrative to the right audience and the right channel to get maximum impact. Think of this table as your cheat sheet. Writing a grant? Lead with the data and use Maria's story as the human proof. Posting on social media? Keep it short, use a great photo, and end with a clear call to action. Presenting to your board? Connect her success directly to your strategic goals. The core story stays the same, but the framing changes every time. And this is absolutely key. Maria's story is powerful, but it can't be your only story. The real goal is to move from just having one great anecdote to building a true strategic asset for your whole organization, a story library. Building this library means you have to be systematic about it. You collect stories as people hit important milestones. You organize them by theme so they're easy to find when you need one. Crucially, you make sure they represent the full diversity of the people you serve. And always get permission. Remember, these stories are a form of data, and they reveal the true patterns of your impact. So let's do a quick recap of the most important points. First, great stories need structure. Use that 5-act framework. Second, specificity is what makes a story stick. Third, always tell your stories ethically to build trust. Fourth, tailor the framing for your audience. And finally, think bigger. Build a story library, not just a single story. We'll end with this thought. Your organization's impact is this powerful combination of data and real human experience. You now have the framework to give that experience a powerful voice. So the only question left is, what incredible story are you going to tell first? Go tell it.